I want to say first, before you ask me any question, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie, Wendy. When did I make fun of your mother?
Wow.
I was like, Jamal, they talking about some demonic spirits and praying. He said, Giselle, that shit is real. They all working together for evil.
Here we go! Here the fuck we go! Here the fuck we go!
Met this person?
Okay, you didn't meet her, but then she.
If you're gonna try to come at me, Rachel, do it a little bit quicker.
Years ago, people feel how they feel. So you want to be acknowledged for your feelings? Let her be acknowledged for her feelings.
Great.
Fantastic. Next question.
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. I just want to say that I'm blaming production. Production can go to hell because I finally see it. Now, Giselle tears my nerves up, but Giselle, I don't know if she's over here paying them off. I don't know if she's giving them a little bit of the good kitty cat. I don't know what it is, but Giselle's that girl on Potomac. For what reason, I don't fucking know. But you got to give it to her, right? But production, the bar is set in hell at this point. But y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, won it, securing the bag, best shit.
Y'all just got back from a cabin trip. I am so happy to be back home, but I had such a great time. It was amazing time with my crew, my friends. So yeah, that was really good. But we about to get into this, and mind you, it's gonna be some heavy topics in here: colorism, unfairness, bias, all that. So just trigger warning off of that. But they open up the episode, continue where it left off last episode, with Mia talking about her son and how Ink thinks that her son is his. And Andy asks, like, does he still think that? And she's like, yeah, he still think that.
Why does Ink think Jeremiah is his son?
Because we had an affair shortly after. Yeah, there was a little overlap in there.
However, she had like a surrogacy or she had like IVF and something like that. Whereas like obviously scientifically that is Gordon's son. So for Ink to actually go to her house to, I guess, take her son, why is he not in jail? Like, girl, I'm calling the cops. Like, no, ma'am.
I'm going to jail, bitch!
Had an affair shortly after. Yeah, there was a little overlap in there. Now, here's the thing. I did IUI, right? So, and I'm a woman. I know my body.
Right.
This child is Gordon's child.
So all the ladies are sitting around basically trying to figure out, okay, why is, Mia basically getting divorced from Gordon? Is it because of his age? Is it because of the money? What is it because? And Mia's like, it's because of how he was treating me. Yes and no. I can give Mia that maybe, Gordon was more aggressive, this, that, and the third. Definitely looks like since the money dried up, she about to, over here, she gone. So that's what it feel like to me. Like, she's paying for him, and she's like, I'm probably not gonna pay for no grown-ass man. I'm gonna do this and the third, so that's all that. But I don't know. Mia always gave me gold digger, and I mean, it's not gonna change now. So it is what it is at this point.
Or, emptying my bank account is a form of abuse. Like, I wake up and all of my money is at zero. It's controlling.
Yeah.
And I mean,
she talks about how she's going to live in DC. She got a penthouse. Gordon lives in Charlotte, but he's going to live across the street when he come back. But they still haven't paid their rent in Bethesda because she's like, I already moved out. And Gordon, he paid for his portion. Boo, 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 boo. So I'm still trying to figure out how you're going to get an apartment in DC but Twitch zone. So Robin's like, well, I'm confused. Can you elaborate on the status of y'all living situation? I'm just like, Robin, in the words of Candace, don't be dense. She just told you their living situation. So why ask that stupid ass question? Robin was pissing me off throughout this whole entire time. Because I'm like, Robin, you want to sit up here and talk about and question anybody. What you should have questioned was your motherfucking husband. Should have tried to question Candace's or Gordon or anything. We can't even question your nigga. We can't even question your man because he ain't even fucking here. Girl, bye. So we get on the whole situation of all the stuff happening in Mia's life, and Mia basically says that, everybody has reached out besides Candace and Wendy. When Candace and Wendy gives their, rebuttals, basically saying, well, Candace like, look, all the stuff he was saying about you, I didn't want to be a part of it. I can accept that because it's like, girl, it's none of my business. Mia basically told her, like, if it was you or the shoe was on the other foot, I'll reach out to you. Which I understand that. However, Mia, that's how you would handle it. That's how Candace would handle it. Now, Wendy's response was, at the end of the day, last year you assaulted me. You know, we were in a good spot, but you know, I still sent you some type of love, this, that, and the third. I get where Wendy was coming from because, you know, y'all didn't get in a physical altercation. But Wendy's like, look, I got some level of love and respect for you, blah, 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 all that shit. I would have liked for them to say, look, I didn't reach out to you because of A, I really don't fuck with you like that. I just don't. Like, am I going to wish you harm and wish you ill will? No. But do I feel like we're getting on a better place? Yes. In hindsight, should I have reached out to you? Yes, I feel like we're in a better spot. Maybe I should have reached out to you. I didn't, and I can apologize. And moving forward, I can do that for you. Be more of a friend to you, because I feel like we have gained some level of trust. That's what I would have said if I was in their position. Because to be honest, the fact of the matter is, Mia, you did put your hands on Wendy. And yes, they were bumping kitty cats and they was over here doing that, this and the third. It still doesn't take the fact away that Mia and Wendy had contention all last season and they weren't cool from the reunion. So I really don't have to give you anything. She really don't. But it was what it was. So everybody talks about, Andy asked, like, has anybody here met Ink? Like, you know, who has met Ink? And all of them like, oh, I have met Ink. I met Ink through FaceTime. I met Ink. He's so cool. This, that, and the third. So Mia basically let it be known that, you know, Ink's favorite person is Wendy. Wendy's like, yes, ma'am. You know, I'm that girl. I'm his fave. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All this is cute. Nothing too crazy. So they go on like a little commercial break and get touched up and stuff. But then we go on Giselle's package. And Giselle basically talks about her father, right? And her father passes away, and we see the clips of, you know, Wendy basically says in the final episode that she's not going to really reach out to Giselle because she talked about her mother.
That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie, Wendy. I didn't know your mother's in the hospital. Nobody told me your mother's in the hospital. When did I make fun of your mother?
What your mother's doing, and Eddie, you know exactly what Wendy is doing. They all working together for evil.
Together for evil.
So Giselle, before Andy could ask a question, she was like, I would like to say this. Wendy, you're lying when you're saying that I knew that your mother was in the hospital. I didn't know that your mother was in the hospital, so that's a blatant lie. So Wendy basically tell her, like, no, you call my mother evil, and my mother was in the hospital.
I make fun of your mother.
You said you talked to Jamal and you said my mother was evil.
What are you talking about? No, it's a bold-faced lie. I was like, Jamal, they talking about some demonic spirits and praying. He said, Giselle, that shit is real.
Yes, it is.
And do not play with it. There's truth to what Natty was saying.
Mind you, Wendy didn't say shit about Giselle's father. She just like, I'm not about to reach out to Giselle. She didn't say nothing about his father. You said something about her mother. You call that woman evil, regardless if you knew she was in the hospital or not. You still call that woman evil.
Saying she did not know your mother was in the hospital?
At all.
That's fine, but that doesn't negate the fact that she called my mother evil while my mother was in the hospital.
Production was pissing me off because it's like production has all this footage, and then Andy, you kept pissing me off too because Andy, you can, when you watch Beverly Hills, when you watch New Jersey, Orange County, Andy can recite scenes. Oh, but you know, this happened on this time and this day, down to the motherfucking nuance times fucking stamp. But for Potomac, when all this stuff happened, like later on in the episode when they talked about the whole situation of certain things, they're just like, oh well, you know, production said they don't have the clip, we don't know what we're talking about. I'm just like Andy, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know what they're talking about. You are the executive producer of all these motherfucking shows. So you didn't do your homework, sir? Wendy won't lie in. You said what you said and it was what it was. You still said it. You probably didn't know she was in the hospital. Cool. But you still call that woman evil. So the fact still remains. And so we go on Giselle's father passing away, and you know, Giselle gets emotional, starts crying, all of this. She says her piece. She thanks Robin, thanks Karen for being her, you know, her solidarity, all this and third. She said that they didn't do a funeral, they did a celebration of life, which looked like you know, a beautiful way to celebrate someone's life in their memoir of life, right? So Candace gets really emotional, and Giselle just like, yeah, she get emotional. It's not even about her. We all know Candace gonna cry regardless, so that's just what she does. And she just says, like, you know, it touched her, which obviously somebody passed away. And to be honest, Candace cried more than Giselle did, but to each his own. Candace just like, you know, this was just a touching moment. And Andy tries to bridge the gap, like, you know, Giselle, you don't show emotion ever in life, and Candace is showing emotion. You know, this is such a beautiful way to bridge the gap. It still didn't bridge the gap because, to be honest, I really truly believe that they really just don't fuck with each other. And it's more so on Giselle not taking accountability of her words, because even in the, like, and everybody's like, well, you know, Giselle, she took accountability, but she didn't. Even last episode, she doubled down on saying that he forced her to go into a hotel room. And then, like Chris said at the end of the episode, it's funny, y'all want to hold everything Candace say to the spotlight, but when she says something that somebody forced her to go into a bedroom, it's brushed under the rug. And what did Andy do? Go to the next topic. Shout out to Chris. So, you know, as Giselle's over here, you know, talking about her father, how her father helped her, really was one of her champions to get on the show and really do the show, and this and the third. We talk about the whole Wendy and Candace making looks at the table. And Andy asked Karen, should she have taken a stance?
I cannot take that on. To be honest, I've seen everybody make faces at each other in this group, and especially when there's a discord.
Karen, don't do that.
And I kind of agree with Karen. It's like, could I have beat on the table and did more? Yes. But am I the master or controller of their emotions and their faces? No. And we're not about to act like everybody else haven't had made faces at each other in different times. And then Giselle's like, don't do that, Karen. Don't do that, Karen. I'm just like, well, y'all want to be hypercritical over this, and then Giselle's like, y'all talk about my daughters.
I was talking about my daughter. Why would anybody be making any sort of faces?
Giselle, you have been going after people's husbands, and then you question the paternity of Chris and Monique's child. So what the fuck are we talking about? When it's you, it's, oh my God, I go to war. But you still talked about someone's child. 1, 2, you went after how many people's husbands? Like, we're not even about to, like, it's irritating to me where it's just like she get away with murder. Oh, when they were in Austin, they were over here congratulating Wendy speaks up and basically says, like, you know, we actually did congratulate her kids. We congratulate Grace. And then Giselle's like, that didn't happen. And then Candace's like, it did happen. Wendy's like, it did happen. They're like, roll the tapes. And Giselle's like, it didn't happen. And it's like, they said they don't have the tapes. And I don't think they're going to lie about this situation, right? But it's just like, they just don't fuck with each other. And it's just hard to really watch that. I feel like Giselle is getting away with something. And it's just really not a good feeling for me. And yeah, it feels bad. Giselle talks about her over here dating people. I'm really not going to get into it because I felt like that storyline was fake to begin with. But to each his own. So we get on, you know, Candace and how she had a, you know, scare from her mammogram. She thought she had to do a biopsy. Thank God she doesn't have to do a biopsy. And she gets emotional because, you know, she doesn't have that, you know, that feeling, that haunted feeling that something might be wrong with her body. They get on the topic of her tour, how much money she had to spend, but then they talk about the whole shade that she threw at Drew. Basically, she said that something like Drew went behind her back or did something. I don't really know the parameters of it. I feel like Drew might speak out on it. However, I found it hella shady how she was acting, and I brought that up in my review. Cause I'm just like, hey, this girl, what's tea? And she didn't bring it up during the show. She was just like, girl, I don't like this. But we also talk about the whole lawsuit that Michael tried to sue Candace for $2 million. Obviously, he lost the lawsuit because it's basically for defamation of character. But my whole thing is, Michael, you defamed your own character, allegedly. So it's just like one of those things where you want to come for Candace for defaming your character. But before you was even on the show, you was grabbing ass, over here looking creepy as hell, allegedly, all this stuff. So it's just like, what are we really talking about? Right? So Andy gets on the whole social media aspect of the show and how Candace was, you know, on social media expressing her feelings. And I find this funny because everybody's like, Candace always runs the social media. She always runs the social media. Neck, you was on social media too. 1. 2, Robin, you've been on social media. We just saw that from the post boards that Candace has.
What I felt when I read her tweets and the Variety article and, you know, everything else, I felt she was being critical of my job.
All y'all are on social media. And to be honest, back in like 4 years ago, they used to have the girls live tweet and do blogs. In Atlanta, always tweet all the time. So my whole thing is like, we want to make it this such a big thing that Candace is on social media, but you know, Candace not gonna be here next year. How much you want to bet next year people gonna start tweeting and being on social media? Right.
Texted you after the stuff happened with Juan and said, I'm sorry this is happening to you and I'm sorry it's happening to your family.
But we get down finally to why there's such contention, and it's basically stemmed around colorism, right? Robin gets questioned, and she was just like, you know, the whole tweets and stuff that happened. The reason why she didn't respond back to Candace, because Candace was like, yeah, you know, I reached out to you, you didn't respond back. She said, I didn't reach out to you because the whole colorism comment affected me greatly, because I'm not colorist, but you made it seem like we were, you know, colorist and coming at you, and I just didn't like that. And Robin gets emotional and this and the third.
I mean, it was just extremely hurtful to not only be on the receiving end of being accused of being a colorist, which I think is horrible.
And I think it's very unfair to put that weight on Candace when Candace was the one to initiate the conversation. And on top of that, you want to blame Candace for calling you colorist when Katie was from season 1 was calling y'all over here damn near colorist too.
Family history, because you bring up race all the time. It's stupid. It's offensive to me that you think that I'm not a black woman. I'm really surprised that they're so obsessed with skin color and racial identity.
So Candace bringing this up now. Oh, Candace is the only one putting a highlight on it. And to be honest, who really talk about it is the fans. Yeah, because it's not fair and it's not right, right?
When the stuff about Juan came out, all y'all talked about it, but nobody accused me of plotting, of...
So Candace gives an apology to Robin. She said, look, I apologize for hurting you in the words that I used that hurt you, but I'm not going to take on the whole brunt of this because it wasn't, she didn't mean to hurt her. She was just pissed off that she didn't respond to her. And then when all this stuff happened with her husband, it's just like, well, damn.
I want to give a shout out to Wendy for the way she delivered and articulated that speech about colorism.
Called me a racist. But when is the conversation ever going to shift to say, it's not. Why did you think or believe that to be true for me to be a racist?
Someone might call you that, but it's not about the declaration of them calling you that. It's about why did they call you that, the undertone. And I feel like it's very, very, the way she said it made so much sense. Even Andy agreed. Giselle, Robin, stuck on stupid.
Yeah. Because if you're not going to talk about why they believe this phenomenon exists, then let's not talk about the phenomenon itself.
Really couldn't say anything, right? But I want to shout Wendy out because the way she delivered that really couldn't be challenged. We all saw Karen speak up about, oh, well, you know, this group is the group to do it. We're the women to... Yeah, that's all fun and dandy, but you have to realize that this is the second year in a row that has been highlighted and had a spotlight, and last year, regardless, still dropped the ball.
There's no better group of black women on the Bravo network to talk about that than us.
No, actually, that's very incorrect.
I'm happy that Wendy let everyone know that this group doesn't have the range, intellectual range, to go to that place to have that conversation and actually, you know, deliver it and not be divisive. But I just feel like it all starts with everyone being accountable, because there's only one person, two people really, on this stage being accountable, which is Candace. That's it.
That you need to have the range to talk about it. And a lot of people on this stage, whether you want to admit it or not, do not have the range. And I will stop it there.
Were you, I would think the same thing, like, girl, were you over here in the plot? But my whole thing is we're still not talking about the plotation. Giselle, did you plot on Chris? Did you make this your storyline? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, that's what I thought. So, But all the husband come out at the end of the episode, and you know, Andy really tried to get like the stuff started with Chris. So Chris was over here talking like, yeah, you know, I haven't been engaging with the women. I haven't had this, that, the third. They talk about the whole woman that lied on Chris about having an affair, and then Robin and Giselle talk about their podcast. So Robin's like, so what about the limp penis? What about the limp penis? And I'm just like, Robin, I get you trying to pull the Candace and start asking the question, which is cool. You could do that. But your husband's not here either. So why don't you ask him the same question? Because you're asking Chris more questions than you asked Juan. Talk about, I believe everything Juan said. Girl, shut up, ditzy.
At this person.
Okay, you didn't meet her, but you
I don't know anything about
screenshots.
She said it, that it happened, and she said she lied about it.
So Chris basically was like, Chris, hands down, I feel like he handled himself well. He was like, look, I haven't talked about it since, besides the few interviews that came up. But the thing about it is that y'all hold Candace to this high regard for what she has said, but y'all give a pass to a woman to say that she said something about forcing someone to go into a hotel room and then just throw it off on, oh, I misspoke.
Clock it.
Giselle speaks up. She was like, okay, well, the woman said that she was over here with you, dating you, this, that, and the third. So, you know, and he was like, well, you know, she doesn't have any credibility. She was like, okay, that's what she said. He was like, okay, but it doesn't matter. He was like, Candace said something, but I forgot the word, how he said it. Well, you know, you could be acknowledged for your feelings or how you felt a few years ago. Candace could be acknowledged for her feelings now, today.
About what happened 2 years ago. People feel how they feel. So you want to be acknowledged for your feelings? Let her be acknowledged for her feelings.
Great.
Fantastic. Next question.
Nigga topping all the charts. Rapping like he...
Basically like, you know, that's fantastic. Next question. I said, ooh. Everybody's like, ooh, clutch their pearls. And then Andy's like, I thought y'all moved past this. And I'm like, Andy, this is what we're talking about. You know that they tried to plot on this man. Why in the fuck? Why would he be cool with them? Why? That was basically at the end of the episode, really, to be honest. NECA is still quiet, haven't said nothing in the backstage, talk about, this is my time to speak. I haven't did no tweeting, haven't did anything. It's like, girl, they over here made you the little puppet, and then they got you over here talking and moving and wind you up to do their dirty work. 1, 2, I'm just like, Giselle, you've been mute this whole season, but now you want to over here beat on your chest, which is fine. Thank you for giving us something, girl. I ain't gonna hold you. But it's not giving, right? If I was Wendy and Candace, I wouldn't come back either. I'm sorry. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when you watch a show and you feel like the people that should get their karma is not getting their karma. It's frustrating. But y'all, let me know what you guys think. This was a frustrating and long video. But y'all, I love the support that y'all give me. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Brian Keith, LG, Black Butte. Bet you didn't know we the Holy Trinity. Now let a God stop a y'all and break your head here. Step into the room and get up in the bed. It tastes sweet, that's cause I'm good. It tastes sour cause I'm better than the hood. Cause I get you hyper when I'm running all around cause I excite ya. Let me talk